Tony, an extremely bad day at the office.
Yep, that's an understatement, Nick. You know, 6-1. In the end, I think we're probably a little bit relieved it was only 6-1 after the first half performance. I thought we had Moses playing in our defence, the way our defence just parted for them, and you know, fair play to them. I've got to give credit to Bearsted. I thought they played well. They deserved their 5. It wasn't, you know, there was no luck about it. They thoroughly deserved it. So credit to them, and I wish them all the best for the rest of the season. But you know, for us, which is what we're more concerned about, of course, for us, you know, it was horrific. It was awful. It was embarrassing, and the players have got to own that one, I'm afraid. And you know, the reason I'm here is because I think that in AC's benefit and the management team's benefit, they set the team up. There was nothing wrong with the side that we picked. The personnel, the pattern of play, everything else was on paper was absolutely fine. But I'm afraid that the players just went out on the pitch and just really threw one in today, really. And we can analyse it, we can talk about it all night. We have to just forget about it and move on. We've got a massive game on Tuesday, and we just have to put that one to bed. Credit Bearsted. We have to go away. We have to lick our wounds, and we have to come back on Tuesday and go again.
Any idea why we started so poorly today?
No idea. I mean, the boys have been doing, you know, the lads have been doing a warm up, I'd imagine, and you know, I can't imagine that today was any different than any other day, and it's just one of them. You know, sometimes I think that some things are very difficult to explain. That's not only difficult to explain what I watched today. I literally have no words to be able to make sense of it. It was. You know, some of the things that I saw out there, I wouldn't expect to see on an under-9 game, let alone a Scaffold Step 5 fixture. And as I say, the players have just got to own that one. You know, they forget about everything else. And I say it week in, week out, and have done for a lot of years. I don't care how bad you're playing personally, but at the very least, that you should expect of yourselves and others is 100% effort, commitment, discipline, and you know, and you keep going. But I'm afraid that when the first goal went in, it just looked collectively as a team, you know, chins hit chests, shoulders slumped, and Andy and the management team just must have wondered what was going on. You can't accept that, and I know that as a club and as a management team they won't accept it. So yeah, I'd love to be able to explain it, Nick, but sometimes you just can't, and I can't. I've been in the game for a long time, seen a lot of bad performances. That one's up there with some of the worst.
That's the 3rd game in a row we've conceded goals in quick succession. How do we get out of this?
Look, if teams score good goals against you, and you've done your best and they've worked it well, you can sort of half live with it. At the moment, we're not only conceding goals in quick succession, we're conceding goals and shooting ourselves in the foot at the same time. You know, they have not had to work for their first 2 goals. The first one was a joke. You post the highlights up on YouTube, you know, watch it and you'll see there's no way you, as a management team, you can cater for that sort of thing to happen. You know, it's 2 horrendous really bits of play by us. You know, one the kick off the floor is awful, and then you know, the player receiving it, Theo has received, he's got to deal with it, he hasn't, and the guy's just got a free run into goal and scored. And then obviously, then as I say, then you could see physically, you can see that, you know, players, their attitudes and their sort of, you know, their heads were down, and they really didn't want to know. And it was no surprise they scored the second one very soon after that. So the only way you can prepare for it, is you can talk to them, and you can try and put players in a positive mindset, and which is what Andy will be doing there in the management team. But it's up to individuals. They've got to stop making individual errors, which are killing the team, and that's the problem. Individual errors and mistakes are absolutely, you know, slaughtering us at the moment, and it's got to stop. And if it doesn't, there's only one way you can deal with it. If it keeps on happening, you have to change personnel. End of. That's the end of the story. If they haven't got the right mentality, and they're not going to stop making, you know, absolutely fundamental basic mistakes, then they're going to have to go and we have to try and replace and bring people in that that aren't going to do that. And all we're asking them to do is the basics. No more, no less. Just do the basics. And at the moment, we are just struggling to do that.
Is it good to have only a short turnaround now before Hollands and Blair away?
Absolutely. I actually think, look, second half was it was like a Jekyll and Hyde. You know, look, let's be honest. They've won the game. It's 5-0. They come out, for them, they're just seeing the game out. They're not running around. The game's done. So they're sort of conserving energy and they're playing at their own pace. But we were a lot better second half. And if truth be told, we've missed a penalty. The keeper's made a couple of good saves, and the score in the end could easily have been 6-3, 6-4. You know, it wasn't, and that's fine. But it really could have been. Second half was much better. So what we've got to do, we've got to grab hold of that second half performance with both hands, and we've got to take that performance into Tuesday against Hollands and Blair. I don't know how they've got on today, but obviously they've you know, they'll be looking at that result, rubbing their hands together. I can't wait for us to go down there. But you know, I'm expecting the lads and Andy will get them up for it to respond to that today and come back fighting. I don't know what the result's going to be on Tuesday, but I expect to see a different Homesdale out on that pitch Tuesday night.
Let's hope that happens. Cheers, Tony.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Thank you.